San Diego Global Knowledge University.
Strategies for optimizing time and work. A bridge to the 24-hour society. Introduction. This text looks at how we're moving towards a 24-hour society, where time isn't broken up anymore but becomes one continuous flow around the world. We'll use ideas from smart people and examples from different countries to see how new tech, global connections, and what customers expect are changing how we work, how big companies run things, what governments do, and how businesses and their workers get along. The main idea is that being good at competing isn't just about having resources or being big anymore. It's about how well you can change and keep up in a fast-paced, connected, and always-on world. This text looks at how we're moving towards a 24-hour society, where time isn't broken up anymore but becomes one continuous flow around the world. We'll use ideas from smart people and examples from different countries to see how new tech, global connections, and what customers expect are changing how we work, how big companies run things, what governments do, and how businesses and their workers get along. The main idea is that being good at competing isn't just about having resources or being big anymore. It's about how well you can change and keep up in a fast-paced, connected, and always-on world. Richard Page and other experts believe we're moving towards a 24-hour society. In this new way of thinking, time isn't broken up anymore, it's one continuous flow. Companies have to think outside the box to use the different time zones to their advantage. Work gets better all around the world. While one area is sleeping, another is working, making sure customers always get help, no matter where they are. Because of this, the saying "time is money" has changed. Wendy Mason explains that time is now more valuable than it was 20 years ago, for two reasons. Digital competition. The time it takes to get a product to market, whether it's information or physical goods, has become much, much shorter. Customer demand. Customers want things to happen right away. This creates a cultural gap. Countries that are less developed or not as focused on technology face a big struggle because the internet has put all nations in direct and constant competition. Sarah Graham explains that the 24-hour society is driven by three things: globalization, the tech revolution, and what customers expect. A key fact from her research in Great Britain shows that more people now shop after 6 p.m. than those who never do. Phone and online banking have made this happen even faster. This change is so big that the British government had to get rid of old alcohol laws from World War I to let places stay open 24 hours. In Japan, it's even bigger. There are guides like 2324 with over 230 pages of info on businesses that never close in Tokyo. Brand loyalty is gone. If a service doesn't work or isn't there, 25% of customers switch to another provider in less than a year. This change is so big that the British government had to get rid of old alcohol laws from World War I to let places stay open 24 hours. In Japan, it's even bigger. There are guides like 2324 with over 230 pages of info on businesses that never close in Tokyo. Brand loyalty is gone. If a service doesn't work or isn't there, 25% of customers switch to another provider in less than a year. Graham explains that technology follows an S-curve. In the year 2000, the developed world was in the middle of the acceleration phase. In Great Britain, internet access via PC, 33%, was projected to double in 3 years, plus digital television and mobile phones with internet. However, the video highlights a different reality for Latin America. PC penetration is less than 10%, and internet penetration barely reaches 2%. In contrast, television exceeds 90%. The solution: mobile telephony. By not requiring the expensive infrastructure of fixed lines, mobile phones are bypassing the traditional system. In 1999, mobile usage grew by 83% in Mexico and 66% in Brazil, allowing these economies to integrate into the 24-hour society through a different path. The video introduces ideas from Manuel Castells and Anthony Giddens to explain how society is affected. The speed of technological change creates a strange problem: short-term thinking. Companies become obsessed with how they did in just the last 3 months. Uncertainty. The world feels like a runaway system or out of control. Thanks to IT, there are more scientists working today than in all of human history before. This makes new ideas happen much, much faster. The idea of a network society means that power moves to people and groups who control information, but it also means the end of protection. No market or skill is safe from a better option from anywhere in the world. A big part of the conference is looking at how much power big companies have compared to countries. Out of the 100 biggest economies in the world, 50 are actually companies. The 10 biggest companies make more money than the 100 smallest countries put together. Shell owns more land than 146 countries. Less than 10 big international companies pretty much control all the food in the world. This has created a business civilization where companies act like a hidden world government. A direct result of this is a lot of job cuts and big changes in how companies work. This has made people feel less secure about their jobs. It also led to new ideas like the third way, to try and protect people without stopping the free market. Finally, the video explains that the only ally against this power is you, the consumer. People are trusting and liking big companies less and less, especially American ones. Words like mean, greedy, sneaky, and heartless are what people think of when they hear about giant brands. The protests at the WTO in Seattle and saying no to GMO foods are examples of how consumers are trying to take back control in this fast-paced world. Finally, the video explains that the only ally against this power is you, the consumer. People are trusting and liking big companies less and less, especially American ones. Words like mean, greedy, sneaky, and heartless are what people think of when they hear about giant brands. The protests at the WTO in Seattle and saying no to GMO foods are examples of how consumers are trying to take back control in this fast-paced world. This second part of the talk dives deep into the fight between big companies and everyday people trying to make a difference. It also looks at how making things look like Hollywood movies and new technology are changing how we work. The rise of global resistance. No logo. The talk starts with a strong criticism of the power of brands. Naomi Klein's book No Logo is mentioned as the main book for a new plan that wants to take globalization away from big companies. The people who are resisting are not just political activists anymore. They include ethical shareholders, cultural jammers, unions, people who fight for human rights, and corporate watchdogs on the internet. The citizen consumer. We're seeing a shift towards making more ethical choices when we buy things. How much money brands make in the future will depend on how they act in areas like taking care of the environment and making sure workers have fair conditions. The consumer's paradox. There's a strange, almost crazy irony. The same customer who wants services instantly, 24 hours a day, is the one who then criticizes companies for the stress and work problems that same demand causes. Technology offers a smart way around unhealthy work schedules. Thanks to global telecommunications, employees in one time zone can help customers in another during their normal daytime hours. Here's a practical example. Late-night customer service calls in Europe can be answered by workers in Brazil, Argentina, or Mexico during their afternoon or early evening. This makes the service better without forcing people to work antisocial night shifts in their home country. The Hollywoodization of work. Work is no longer a straight path but a series of projects. It's all about connections. Who you know is just as important as what you know. Project-based. Success is judged by your last project. You're only as good as your last movie or job. Image versus reality. Your personal brand and how famous you are can sometimes become more important than the actual work itself. Rewarded instability. People with knowledge, skills, and who are flexible can ask for higher pay, while those in manual labor or without access to ongoing education face constant uncertainty. With the old idea of a company taking care of you forever and jobs for life going away, people now have to take charge of their own future. It's all about managing yourself. Workers need to really take care of and grow their own skills, just like a movie star would. And reinventing yourself. You need to constantly update your personal brand, maybe even changing careers completely several times in your life. Numbers from First Direct Bank show that 6 out of 10 workers dream of doing something different. 40% plan to start their own business, and that number goes up to 50% for people under 25. Talent retention versus flexible layoffs. Companies are facing a new challenge. Downsizing policies have destroyed loyalty. We want people to join us for life, but they no longer believe us. Priority. In the knowledge economy, keeping employees is more important than being able to let them go easily. The focus needs to shift from being customer-centric to employee-centric to get the most out of people by having a good work-life balance. The end of paperwork. Mason says that organizations stuck with paper are killing their spirit and creativity. The future belongs to paperless organizations, where information flows purely electronically. The one-touch rule: you shouldn't touch a piece of paper more than once. The choices are: pass it to someone else, act on it, reply and return, file it by scanning it, or throw it away. The memo is outdated. Tom Peters is quoted as saying, "The worst memo ever written should have been a phone call." In our 24-hour society, the speed of a call or a face-to-face meeting is much faster than slow paper documents. Digital filing. Well-labeled documents on a computer are faster to find than in physical cabinets, allowing instant sending via email anywhere in the world. The shift from yearly planning to continuous planning. One of the most powerful insights is the change in strategy for blue-chip companies, like Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola example, Doug Ivester, the CEO at the time, suggested getting rid of yearly business plans and instead using a continuous planning process. Reasons. 1. It's impossible to predict outside crises, like the Asian crisis, or new competitors. 2. Regular planning slows down how fast a company can react. Successful organizations, after 2000, are connected partnerships that work anytime, anywhere. Mason redefines leadership. Power no longer comes from rank, but from skill, ethics, and vision. The leader must help others be excellent. The first trait is passion and confidence. The second, being clever and turning the workplace into a learning hub. The third, finding amazing talent. And the fourth, acting like a wise mentor who always puts learning first. For the fifth point, the leader looks ahead. Speed, new ideas, and creating new markets. The sixth trait calls for open book management, where everyone can see financial and strategy information. The seventh characteristic is letting company boundaries be flexible so resources can flow easily. And the eighth, being able to do well in a virtual company, bringing in suppliers and customers in real time. The ninth trait is making trust the glue that holds the organization together. The 10th is rewarding teamwork over individual brilliance. The 11th calls for master leaders who encourage people to always be learning. The 12th, bravery to break rules and explore new areas. And the 13th, promoting laughter and fun as the heart of the organization. Making the most of human energy and managing time. This video shows a super new idea for the year 2000. Handling when people have the most energy. Work chronobiology. Figuring out if an employee is a morning person or an evening person, so they can do their hardest tasks when they have the most physical and mental energy. Power naps. The new idea of having quiet places for short naps during long work shifts to help people feel refreshed and work better. Schedule networking, using computer programs and devices like Palm Pilots to link up schedules electronically between bosses, assistants, and coworkers, so there are no more scheduling problems. Mason suggests a frequency test, from 1, never, to 4, always, to measure how well you're adapting to the new economy. The key things to look at include financial digitalization, electronic payments and collections, EFT, asynchronous communication, using email and fax to cut down on interruptions, information filtering, scanning and picking out important articles, teleconferences, replacing long trips with virtual meetings, and strategic time, setting aside daily hours for uninterrupted strategic thinking. This section starts with completing the self-assessment test, highlighting the tools that define an efficient professional in the new economy, using customer databases to analyze needs, ISDN lines for simultaneous voice and data transmission, and spreadsheets for financial analysis are now mandatory standards. Mason warns that a low score on this test means the professional is stuck in old, slow ways of working. Technology should be used to track digital trends and stay connected with staff through daily emails and personal video calls. The goal is to reach a point where the system allows the organization, customer, and supplier to share information as if they were one single unit. The dynamic market, from eBay to mass customization. In our 24-hour society, nothing stays the same, not even prices. The internet allows for constant changes in real time, a process Mason calls electronic haggling. The auction model, websites like eBay and Priceline, show a shift in power. Now the customer gets to name the price and set the rules, making competitors lower their prices and react faster. Personalization. The future isn't about making a lot of the same thing, but about meeting what each person needs. For example, Levi Strauss sends a customer's body measurements digitally to the factory to make custom jeans. This way of doing things, like what Dell does, lets the customer design their own product from an online catalog. Technology lets small companies compete with big global ones by using special software. This puts direct pressure on old-fashioned company structures, flattening organizations. Email lets the boss talk directly to any employee. This gets rid of middle managers who used to just pass along information. The middleman disappears. In a market where there's lots of information and it's easy to do business, the old-style middleman only stays if they bring real, clear value. Faster decisions. Face-to-face meetings, which cost a lot and take a long time, are being replaced by email chains with attachments and digital whiteboards. On these, people far apart can work together in real time on the same screen. The productive work model is moving towards home or remote locations. Remote work is great for specialists in support, sales, or services because they have the same access to information as they would in a physical office. Less overhead. Physical setups are changing. One desk can be used by several people at different times, which really cuts down on running costs. Overhead. Work vacations. Since employees can stay connected through the information superhighway, there's a trend of taking vacations while still being linked to the office, allowing for more personal flexibility. Mason wraps up with a warning: don't tie the organization to one place or one small area. Look at your products and careers like they're experiments. Get rid of old-fashioned job descriptions, things that are stuck in one place, and too many rules. Encourage people to move around. Give them laptops, cell phones, and training so teams can get organized and help customers all day, every day. The 24-hour society brings big changes to how we make things, buy things, and work. The companies that make it are the ones that let go of old strict ways, bosses, and fixed plans. Instead, they become flexible, always learning, and smart about using technology. At the same time, there's a clear struggle between big companies and the power of customers. Also, how we think about leaders, jobs, and personal brands is changing. In this world, you don't just manage time, you plan it out carefully. If you don't get this, you'll be left behind.
San Diego Global Knowledge University, Education Beyond Boundaries.